My name is Jason, and this is Just Watches. All right, State of the Collection Time 2021. Wow, this year went really fast. I can't believe it's already time to make another collection video. I really like making these collection videos. I really like watching other watch reviewers' collection videos just because it's interesting to see what they actually keep in the collection. You know, they might handle a lot of watches, but what do they actually end up keeping? It's also a good way for me to document kind of how my collection has changed over time. So right before we get into the state of the collection, I just want to remind you, if you're enjoying the contents of this channel, I invite you to subscribe. And if you like the contents of this individual video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So I won't go into all the details of these watches because there will be a link to all the individual reviews. This will mostly just be an overview. And we're going to start with things that I consider heirlooms. So these are watches that have sentimental value that I don't think I would ever consider flipping. Although I do tend to flip a lot of watches, these ones are safe. For each one I'll give their particular reason. But this one is the Invicta I-Force. This is the first mechanical watch that I got. It was a very innocent gift from my wife, who didn't know that getting this watch would then see me all the way to this point, basically being obsessed with watches and having a YouTube review channel. So this is the watch that really started it all. I kind of got addicted to the fact that it was mechanical. I kind of knew about mechanical watches generally, but it was actually owning one for the first time that got me very interested in it as a hobby, and here we are today. So this is safe in the collection and is basically the reason we are here. So second heirloom watch is the Sarx055, and that is because it was the watch I got married in. So this one holds a lot of sentimental value, and I will be holding on to it for a long time. So the third watch is this Seiko quartz chronograph, one of the world's first quartz chronograph. This was a gift from my father-in-law. This is the 7A38. He had this watch for a very long time, but he knew I was really into watches and he didn't wear it that often, and he decided to gift it to me. I actually had it taken to a watchmaker and cleaned up, and not really serviced, but it just needed some cleaning, and the pushers were fixed up, and then we got a new battery in it, and all the functionality is working great. So these were actually designed, they have a lot of metal components in the movement, and they're designed to be serviced. So this is a watch you can keep going for a very long time, and just another special one with that connection to the family. And the fourth watch in the heirloom collection. Now this is a gift from a good friend, and it means a lot to me. I'm not gonna share the full story here on the channel. I might share it one day, but just suffices to say that this is a really cool watch with a really cool backstory, and it was gifted to me, and I really enjoy owning it, and I'm gonna hold on to it for a long time. And this is a Seiko, they call these the mini turtle, but I think we agree that I think they should have called it the Seiko Minnow. I think that would have been a much cooler name, and that's not my original idea, but I think by calling it the mini turtle, it kind of fell into the turtle's shadow a little bit. But I actually really like this one, and it's going to stay in the collection as an heirloom for a very long time. So my last heirloom is this King Seiko 4500. Now this is a super high beat, 36,000 vibrations per hour. And I did get into watch tinkering and very minor servicing. And I did actually buy this one to service, and did service it, and it still works. So I guess it's okay so far. And then I got a really nice gift for this. Someone gave me an exhibition case back, so you can see that absolutely beautiful movement and that balance wheel beating away there at a very fast 36,000 vibrations per hour. So this one is definitely an heirloom and a long-term keeper. Okay, next we have, I guess what I would consider the main collection. So these ones don't have any sentimental value, so they could be gone next year. I do tend to flip a lot of watches. Notably, I'll go over some of the ones that are missing this year from last year. But this is the Christopher Ward C60 Sapphire, and they had this watch in blue, and I was super interested in it just because I really like to see, obviously I'm really into the mechanics of watches, so I really like that you could see through the dial to see the movement from the front, and you can actually see it from the back as well. So that really intrigued me. I wasn't really drawn to the blue one, but then when they released the black dial, I knew that was the one I wanted to have, and I think this is one of my favorite watches. I think I'm going to display these to you in order of most favorite to least favorite, at least for the main collection. But I really like this one. I've been enjoying it greatly so far. So this next one is brand new. I haven't actually reviewed this yet, but I've wanted one of these forever. This is the Sarx029, and it's a ruchy lacquer dial. I've been fascinated by this watch for a really long time, and I think they're starting to dry up. I know Seiko on the Seiko Lux site has a new urushi dial, and it's a lot more expensive, so I thought, if I'm going to get one, I think now is the time to grab one. Seiko's definitely moving up market, and I think that these Urushi dials are not going to be available at this price point anymore going forward. So this is new to the collection. There will be a review of this one soon, but I'm really enamored by it so far. So next up we have this Orient Star. This is the open heart, kind of a dressy, sporty watch. I really like Orient Star. The styling is very different, sort of out there. And when I saw this one, I just wanted to add it to the collection. I love the open heart. I love to be able to see the mechanics of the watch. And there was something about this one. It was a little bit different, the green and gold. And I'm really impressed with Orient Star overall. I think they're slightly underrated. I think the styling is a little bit different. I don't know if they're as popular in the American market because of that, but I'm really drawn to the styling of this one, including the power reserve. I know a lot of people don't like power reserves, but I don't know. I like it. The power reserve and the open heart, both kind of weird complications, but both two complications that I'm very drawn to. So I do absolutely love this watch. And next we have the Sarx033. This is a classic, needs no introduction. I love this watch. I almost sold it this year, but I'm really glad I didn't. These are pretty much drying up everywhere. They're really hard to get your hands on, and I just can't bring myself to sell it. I got to keep this one. I really like it, and although I do have a lot of overlap in the collection, as you'll see, a lot of kind of dressy sport watches, I just can't get rid of this one. Also new to the collection is this Seiko Patty Monster. So I had a Monster before and I really liked it. I kind of want to have, I don't know, I'm really drawn to Seiko, obviously. I'm still pretty addicted to Seiko, even though in certain ways they break my heart. But I like the Monster, but I was always drawn to the Patty version. I ended up flipping the blue and black Monster, but then I saw this Patty up for sale, and I knew that's the one I always really wanted. I love this blue bezel. It's subtle blue, but I don't know, the blue and red is there, but I don't know, there's something about this one I really like. So I'm really happy with this Monster. I've been wearing it a lot more than I expected, so this is a happy new addition to the collection. So second to last is this NTH Barracuda. Now I got this one, I really wanted to check on an NTH watch. I'm pretty impressed by them, and I love the case. It's thin, it's really well finished, so overall really well executed, and I love the gilt relief on this dial. It's very beautiful, very difficult to capture in camera or in photos. However, this one doesn't get very much wrist time as much as I love looking at it, and I kind of got it to kind of test maybe having a Black Bay 58 one day, and I think this makes me not want a Black Bay 58 just because, I don't know, I think this watch is gorgeous. I just don't find myself wearing it that often. But for now, it's in the collection. Check back in 2022. I don't think it's going to survive. Nothing really wrong with it, but if I don't wear a watch often, then I will flip it and move on to the next one. And last but not least, we have the Casio Edifice. Now you should recognize this one from the Casio Edifice Showdowns. It has defeated a number of challengers and remains the champion. Now I've been watching the Casio Edifice website. I really want to challenge it against some watches next year in 2022, but there hasn't really been anything of this size and styling, so I'll keep looking, or if you guys have a good suggestion, put it in the comments below, because I'd love to have another showdown. But for now, this is the reigning champion. So that is the current state of the collection for 2021. I have a couple honorable mentions. I do have this Orient Defender and this WMT Subdiver that are going to be reviewed soon. I don't know if they will survive in the collection. You might see them in 2022. And then the only thing I want to mention, the main notable absence from this year's collection is the Steinhardt ceramic GMT. Now I sold that watch. I was kind of paring down maybe to go for a big purchase. I didn't do so, and I do kind of regret selling that one. So that was probably the major change other than the new additions from 2020 collection to 2021. So join me back here next year for the collection for 2022, and we'll see what has changed since then. I don't know what will survive and what may be different, but this is the state of the collection as of December 2021. So thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, I invite you to subscribe. And if you like the contents of this individual video, please give it a thumbs up. That's all for this time. My name is Jason, and you have been watching Just Watches.